One of the reasons it's been so long that Arsenal didn't win the title. I think when you look at the majority of the players here, they want to win it so badly, and of course they're feeling the pressure and the expectation from the fan. And it's about how do you manage that expectation, and they all want to win it. I think.
So how do you manage that expectation?
I think it's to go back to basics. It's about how do you get to top of the table. You get to top of the table, that means you've been playing in the right way, you've been really positive and not changing the attitude. And we know that Arsenal has been a long, long time that didn't win the title. I think in the last couple of years, they managed to build this kind of experience, they bring quality players, and they have two good players in every position. So I think they have the squad to go and to win the title.
But that's the hard part, isn't it? The last bit is always the hardest bit.
Because they never did it. And I believe that the first time is always the most difficult one.
Patrick, can I ask you about that? Because when I first won a title, I had very experienced players who'd already won the title. And when you came to Arsenal, 98 will have been your first title. Yeah. But you had Tony Adams in the team, you had Nigel Winterburn lead. How important were those players in settling everybody down? Because the Arsenal players haven't got a Tony Adams or a Nigel Winterburn. How important were they to you?
Really, really important, especially when you're going through a difficult period. Because to win the title and to be playing well from the first to the last game of the season, it will never going to happen. It will have time and moment where you will lose a little bit of confidence and you're not playing well. So those kind of experiences are quite really important because they are the one who will keep the spirit higher and they're the one who will keep the togetherness together. And that is why, for me, they will be really important for Declan Rice to, because he's got the personality, he's an international player and he play with belief and he's got the strong personality on the field.
You obviously know Mikel Arteta and you've been a manager as well. I was thinking actually doing the podcast after him, what will he be saying now and what would he be doing tomorrow morning to try and reset everything? What do you think he will be doing?
I think first of all, what he will be doing is showing the table. You know, because you're still top of the league. So that means not everything is to throw away. Yeah. But at the same time, you have to analyze and to try to understand what did we do wrong to be losing points. And I think it's about making them understand how it's important to perform together as a team. But when you look at the performance of Arsenal's teams today, I think there is some key players who are not at their best. And that can be physical issues, that can be a lack of confidence. I don't think as a team they lost a lot, but I think the single players, individual players, not performing at that level to allow them to win games.
Even as guests here, we're putting a lot of pressure on Arsenal. I understand they want to win it, but they are 4 points clear. In terms of, we're saying, but we've just said though, Man City have not been performing at the level. Villa, there or thereabouts, but other teams might slip up as well, you know?
Of course, or they might have had their slip-ups
going back
already.
to Roy's point, end of the day, at the end of the season, it's about winning the title. We was there. We was up against your mob, United, and we had this disbelief going up against you thinking, oh, they're going to do it again. And we had a few bad results. I remember one at Everton, where Yaya Toure was AFCON. And inside the dressing room, we was thinking, we've got no chance. And you have a bad result, like the guy said, it's how you react from it. It's not like Man City have gone 4 points clear. Arsenal still have a 4-point gap.
So what if we're putting pressure on?
We're not putting pressure on.
The question was that Arsenal is to win. Arteta's doing a good job. He's been up against Slot with Klopp's team, wonderful team, and he's up against Pep, one of the best managers. No, I'm just saying. Every game with Arsenal, they must win. No, but everyone else is going to triple as well.
To be fair, I've predicted Arsenal will win the league, but I think the fact that they've drawn against Liverpool, drawn against Notts Forest, and lost against United is putting pressure on themselves. It's not us putting pressure on them. They've dropped basically in the last couple of weeks quite a few points. They've won 2 out of 9, so I don't think it's us putting pressure on them. I actually think Arsenal will win the league and they'll come through this. But it is right that there are questions asked right now because they've only won 2 out of 9 points against Liverpool, Forest and United, and I think questions will be asked. If they drop points at Leeds next week, further questions will be asked.
Given you are top of the league and top of the Champions League,
that's part of the demands and the expectations that we want to win, and that's it. And individually, everybody can react in the manner that they need.
Okay, we're gonna-
4 points clear at the top of the table. How does it make you feel knowing you've done what you've done to get so far this season and that's the reaction?
It doesn't matter. So we have to do more. So maybe that's not enough, and we have to do more. There is nothing else. We have to do our very best. When you do that, you can rest in peace. And today we really certainly tried to do our very best, but we weren't efficient enough against a team that is very well organized, and we got punished because our own mistakes as well.
This is brave from his part, and it's not an easy decision. So I think he deserves to have a chance to manage
yeah, but Patrick,
United.
we discussed this last week. There's loads of examples of young managers getting an opportunity and doing really well. But there's more examples of managers getting a job and not doing well. We can all handpick. We could pick 5, 6 managers here, young managers who've gone into a job and done a brilliant job.
But
there's loads of examples of managers.
I don't think.
And you mentioned clubs
I
there.
don't think. I don't
They're
think
different
being
to Man
young.
United.
I don't think being young,
Or inexperienced, maybe, sorry.
inexperience,
Okay.
should be enough. Pep Guardiola was at Barcelona,
Of
second
course,
team,
but I
and
can
he
name you
went.
50 examples where managers got a
Yes,
job and they
but I
didn't
think he
work out.
deserved- he
Everyone
des-
mentions Pep or Zidane.
But he deserves a chance.
I think
and
just-
then time will say if he's good enough for United or not.